Alright everybody, let's round up this trilogy of video reviews with Jet the Hawk, the newest release in the Sonic the Hedgehog Jakks Pacific figure wave. Now I feel like this wave is kind of being overshadowed by the one that's coming out after it, as it's finally going to have Cream the Rabbit and Infinite. I know people have been wanting a Cream the Rabbit for a long time so they can complete Team Rose, which would also complete all the teams from Sonic Heroes. The first time this ever been done in an official toy line, I should mention. And it's also going to have an Infinite figure, which is actually as good as the ones that I've made. Ha ha ha. But I don't want to denigrate this wave because I truly do like Jet the Hawk as a character. I know in some circles this may be a relatively controversial opinion, but I really liked Sonic Riders and Sonic Riders Zero Gravity as racing games. They were among my favorite racing games from that era. And you know what? I like both of them better than most of the Mario Kart franchise. Although, I do have to admit that's not saying much because I liked Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Kart 64 and even the original NES Mario Kart, but I actually haven't really liked any of the Mario Kart games made since. I didn't like Mario Kart Wii. I didn't like Mario Kart 8. And I am absolutely confused by how popular those games were. But still, my opinions aside... Oh, by the way, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, unplayable garbage. Do not get that one. But the first two Sonic Riders games should not suffer because the third in the series was so terrible. But yeah, we got Jet the Hawk, who has, his included accessory is actually something that's absolutely iconic to his character. So Tails gets the Miles Electric, he gets an Extreme Gear board, which is awesome. So, the back of the packaging features the other wave mates, just like the other ones did. And as I think a street sweeper drives by, I will read the description. Leader of the swift and notorious Babylon Rogues and self-proclaimed legendary Wind Rider, Jet and his gang of thieves earn their globally infamous reputation due to their speed and skill with their extreme gear. So, yeah. I do love how his picture doesn't only show his articulation, but also how he interacts with the board. That's something that's kind of rare with this. You don't really see them interacting with their accessory very often. Usually because the accessory is mostly random. But yeah, let's get him out of his packaging and take a look at our favorite little bird boy. And here is Jet the Hawk out of the packaging. Oh man, it's kind of really cool to have an official Jet the Hawk figure again. We haven't really seen one since the Jazzwares days, and there have been knockoffs. I've seen the knockoffs. I've shown you pictures of the knockoffs, but I never bought any of the knockoffs. But yeah, to get an actual Jet the Hawk figure again. His goggles are not removable on this iteration of the figure. They are part of his head sculpt. But aside from that, the details are immaculate. Look at his chest feathers. That is amazingly detailed. Let's see. He still has all the same articulation as everybody else. Universally jointed shoulders. On this one, the arms are so skinny, I can actually understand why he wouldn't have elbow joints. But he still has the ball jointed wrists. His head can swivel. The tails are actually articulated. His tail feathers. They're posable. They're on a little ball joint. Look at that. They didn't have to do that, but they did. He has universally jointed hips, of course, universally jointed knees, the standard, and a ball joint in his ankles. And he has his board, which is taller than he is. I have a hard time getting into the shot. It's so tall. And you can wedge it into his hand, so he can actually sort of hold his board. Yes, he could do that. That's cool. And of course, there are peg holes in the bottom of the board. It's funny, all of these figures have always had peg holes in the bottoms of their feet, but few of them have anything that they can actually peg onto, because it's not like these things come with figure stands or anything like that. Of course, there was the Sonic with his snowboard release, so there is that, but like this is only like the second board accessory, and yeah, that works. That works just fine. It's a little bit awkward because this is what the bottom of the board looks like. I do appreciate they put these two little nubs here so that this acts as a stable platform when you combine it with this. So, you know, like it's not, otherwise like all this sculpting would create a rounded, uneven bottom, so it would be difficult to get the figure to stand. But with that in place, Jet is able to balance on his board for your display. It's not happening here very well because this is a soft surface, but trust me, on a shelf or a desk or whatever, this should be much more effective. But yeah, that's pretty darn great. Jet the Hawk is looking awesome. And it makes me happy to know that Jakks Pacific is willing to make the relatively obscure characters like Jet. He has recently featured in the IDW comic, of course, who hasn't? But he hasn't actually been in a game in quite a while. And the last game that he was in left a really sour taste in the fans' mouths for the franchise. Like I said, although the first two Sonic Riders games were great, Sonic Free Riders was kind of a dumpster fire. And I always appreciated the Sonic Riders games because they weren't satisfied just putting Sonic into a racing game. Like, they made an actual mainline entry into the franchise with a storyline and everything. And even though it was just a racer, they didn't have to do that, but they did. It's something that I really like about Sega and Sonic Team, and how they will go that extra mile to build their lore. Like, they don't think, like, yes, they will make the occasional cameo or spin-off, like there really wasn't much of a storyline to the All-Stars Racer Transformed, aside from it's a big crossover racing game with all the Sega franchises. And, you know, like, I don't think that they have any plans on making the Sonic's cameo in Super Smash Bros. Canon anytime soon, aside from, you know, like, Sonic likes to hop across the multiverse. But like, when you're making a game that's only going to have Sonic characters in it, even if it's just a kart racer, like including Sonic Team Racing, don't think I forgot about that one, there's a storyline, there's a plot, there's additions to lore, there's characters that become part of the canon and we love them. And Jet the Hawk is one of those. Makes me hope that we're going to get Storm and Wave now. Again, that's hope for the toy line, because you know, with Cream coming out, we're pretty much run out of main characters, and most of the good villains have also been used up. So we're going to have to start digging into a little bit more obscure ranks in order to get more action figures out of this series, and Jet and the Babylon Rogues would be one of them. So yeah, like hopefully, like, having Jet in the franchise means we get the other two Rogues. Maybe we can get Gemerald, you know, from the Sonic Advance series. Maybe we can get a recolor of Metal Sonic in the Metal Sonic Mark III colors. Maybe Eggman Nega. You know, like, if you're willing to dig into the franchise lore, there's still tons of characters left to get out of this. So, like, the Sonic the Hedgehog line is nowhere near done. That being said, like, I really hope you guys appreciate this wave for what it is, because it is a great wave. This is another great figure of a character that we all should love very much. And oh, wait a second, where are the flame patterns on his thighs? Oh, this is a piece of crap. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, like, I feel like, wasn't there supposed to be like a little feather pattern there? I don't know. My memories are a little bit hazy, but you know, still great molding, great figure. But yeah, I like everybody else, I'm looking forward to the next wave so I can get my hands on that official Infinite figure, and of course our lovely little Cream, because we all love Cream too. So this is Wake Angel 2001 signing off.